Hello everyone, I'm Benjamin Contreras, and welcome back to the Jasper Cat Production Show. I have, of course, returned from about 4 to 5 weeks of school, but I am back and I will be trying to make my videos on a weekly basis like how I used to. So, I will try, but the point is, welcome back to our marathon of Godzilla. If you haven't seen my other 2 videos on this series, basically what I'm doing is that I'm taking the different Godzillas that I have from all 3 of his series that he was in, the Showa era, the Heisei era, and the Millennium era, and I'm taking all the figures that I own of Godzilla himself from each series and I'm reviewing them. Now, in the past 2 videos we looked at the original 1954 Godzilla and the 1960s Godzilla. Both of them were from the Showa era, or as I like to call it, the kid-friendly era, but now we're moving into the Heisei era, what many people consider to be Godzilla's best series that he was in, and sadly we only have one figure from the Heisei era that I can review, and it is actually from his last movie in the Heisei era. It's Burning Godzilla, or at least I think that's just his nickname, from the last Heisei movie, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. By far, definitely the most depressing out of the Godzilla movies from the Heisei franchise, mostly because of the ending when Godzilla dies and that sort of like choir music goes all the way through. It's actually a very sad and depressing style scene, but as you can no doubt tell from this figure, it has like a sort of like translucent color to it, and that's actually because this figure comes from the exact same toy line as that one Rainbow Mothra figure that I did when I did that sort of Mothra series of reviews that I did, like, I think it was like a year ago. But it does have that sort of translucent style, and that's because of the gimmick that it has, where if you put like a flashlight or something like near them, that area will start glowing. And so, while the color scheme isn't accurate to this film, you can't really blame it all that much because of the gimmick that it has. So it tried to be unique, and I can appreciate that. The detail, on the other hand, is actually very accurate to the movie. All the spines here have that sort of like reddish type of color to it. The spines are like smaller on the head, then they get larger on the back, and then it gets smaller as the tail goes down. The tail also has that sort of stretchable, lined texture to it, which is accurate. You can see all the different like spines on his tail and on his back. Those are very accurate. All the burnt marks that are here, his neck, both his arms, his chest, his stomach, and the 2 very wide ones on his legs here. The legs are very like fat and widen out, which is accurate to the movie. All the like lumpy textures on the legs are there. The scale-ish type of texture, the scratchable type, is all there. So, also the head is pretty much completely colored in. The orange eyes with the black pupil, and his mouth is all colored in with the pinkish red tongue and the yellowish teeth, which are the exact same color as the claws on his hands and on his feet. So it's very colored in, and the detail is very accurate. The color scheme isn't very much, but the overall detail and look of it is indeed very accurate. The articulation is pretty much basic from all the different figures from Godzilla. His arms want to go all the way full 360, but as you can no doubt notice that the side of him right here pretty much makes it stop. You can sort of like bend it if you do it hard enough, then it will go 360, but that's probably going to make it wear out a little bit, and it might at some point fall off. So I don't really recommend that. The leg joints are very loose, so he can move his legs rather quickly. The tail doesn't articulate because it's glued on as a separate piece. The head can, of course, turn full 360, so you can get all like horror movie-esque and make him like he's walking towards you with like his head backwards. So the articulation is pretty much basic for the Godzilla figures, and I think that's pretty good. So all in all, I think this figure is very well done. The color scheme, it has its gimmick and it tries to be unique. While it's not accurate to the movie, I can still appreciate it for trying to do something else. The detail is very accurate to the movie, the articulation is basic for the Godzilla figures, and if you're a fan of Godzilla vs. Destroya, and if you're a fan of this type of toy line, then I recommend you get your hands on him. And out of 5-star rating, I'm going to be giving him a 4 out of 5 stars, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure to like it, comment on how you felt about the video. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, where you can find out what time my videos are going to be showing up. And until next time, I am Benjamin Insurers, and bye.